Hey guys, it's Raging Psycho. I want to do dramatic readings, but, I want to get a couple buddies to help me out with that first. So this is just a sort of test run to figure out how the frickin' heck I do all the editing and stuff, make sure I know the basis. So, you can watch this, give me feedback on how to improve it. That'd be greatly appreciated. And, yep, that's it. I hope you enjoy. This is a reading of Legolas by Laura. That's why they don't. Featuring Raging Psycho and her baby brother! I guess he's just dude number one. Dude number one! Okay, so, moving on. Legolas by Laura. Legolas was riding along the woods one day. He found a baby waped in cold, so he got off his horse and went to the baby. And then Legolas said, "Who left you here, little one?" And then the baby just cried. And then Legolas pick her up and hold her, and then the baby stopped crying. And then Legolas said, "Your name is going to be Laura." And then Legolas and the baby went onto the horse and went back to the castle where he lived. Legolas said, "Father, mother, I found this little baby in the woods." And then Legolas got up and walked out. That is a horrible misuse of quotes there. And said, "How can people put baby in the woods and to die?" And then Legolas' father said, "We are going to keep her." And then Legolas was happy for samurai saying.
Terrible spelling.
Oh, good lord.
Just terrible.
10 years later, Legolas got up and went into Laura's room and said, "Good morning." And then Laura said, "Good morning, too." Then Legolas said, "What's the matter?" And then Laura said, "Legolas, I want to know how to ride a horse."
She's
And
10,
then
she
Legolas...
doesn't know.
She's 10. You'd think she'd know by now. God, I knew how to ride a horse when I was 10. Then Legolas said, "Okay." And then Legolas said, "First you get dresses, and then have something to eat, and then we will go for a horse ride lesson."
That will be uncomfortable.
Meanwhile, Strider and Gandalf was riding towards where Legolas lived, and then Strider said, "Gandalf, I did not know Legolas had a sister." And then Gandalf said, "I did not know as well." Meanwhile, at Mondor, the Dark Lord was planning to kidnap the princess, but not Legolas. Wait, what princess? What princess?
Nova! She's apparently a princess because...
When the fuck did she become a princess? Oh, good God. And then the boss of the orcs came and said, "I'll get her for you, sir." And then the Dark Lord said, "Yes, you can." Meanwhile, Legolas and Laura was horse riding, and then Laura said, "Legolas, who's that?" And then Legolas looked, and it was Gandalf and Strider. Legolas said, "That is Gandalf and Strider." And then Strider said, "Legolas!" And then Legolas said, "Strider, long time no see." I'm going ever with the voices here, good God. And then Strider said, "How's you?" And then Legolas said, "I am fine." And then Gandalf said, "Who's this then?" And then Legolas said, "Meet Laura. I found her in the woods when she was just a baby."
And then...
Laura was shy at first, and then Legolas said, "Laura, come and meet Strider and Gandalf." And then Laura said, "Hello, I am Laura." Legolas said, "She is a princess." Oh, I guess she is a princess randomly. And then Strider said, "She is so cute." And then Legolas said, "That will be my flute." What? And then Gandalf said, "Why?" "Well, thank you, Gandalf." And then Laura said, "He protects me, that's why." And then Legolas looked up and said, "I think we should go back to the castle." And then Laura said, "I can feel it too."
Feel what?
Feel what? What the fuck is going on?
Big question.
Legolas said, "Do you guys want to stay for a night?" And then Gandalf and Strider said, "Yes, please." And then they had tea and went to bed. During the night, Legolas asked the guards to keep an eye on Laura's room. Does she just not put periods spaces after the periods? I mean, what the fuck? Meanwhile, the orcs climbed up the window and grabbed
Orcs
Laura.
can't do that, by
And
the
then
way.
Laura woke up and screamed! And then the guard went into her room and saw lots of orcs, and then Legolas ran down the hall. Then Legolas said, "Where is Laura?" And the guard said, "The orcs took her."
Is that a comma? No, it's a period.
No, it's a period. In the wrong spot, might I add. Meanwhile, the orcs back at Mondor. The orcs was back at Mondor. And then Laura said, "Put me down!" And then the orcs did. Well, that's
You're
shitty.
gonna marry her!
And then the Dark Lord came out of the fire and said, "Welcome, Laura!" And then Laura looked at him and said, "No, it can't be!" And then she tried to run away, but the orcs got her. Then the Dark Lord said, "Put her in a cell and bet her, and also do whatever you want with her, but do not kill her." Then the orcs took her to the cell and throw her into the cell, and then they shut the door. Laura go up and went to the window and looked out, and she was wishing that Legolas or someone will save her. Meanwhile, back at the castle of Milkwood... No, it's Mirkwood! God, this is hurting me so much inside. Jeez. Meanwhile, back at the castle of Milkwood, Legolas was getting the army ready to go and save Laura. Meanwhile, Laura was... What?
2 hours later.
I'm here, Wyatt.
Oh, really?
Laura was sitting on the floor, and then the door opened, and it was some orcs, and the orcs tied Laura up with some chains, and then one of the orcs striped her, and then he raped her, and then Laura said, "Go away, you bastard!" Then another orc came with a whip and wiped her hard, and then all the orcs all together bet her almost to death. What are they playing, card games with her? "I bet you $6. I bet you $7. Oh no, I bet myself, and I don't..." And then the Dark Lord came in with a tube of poison, and then he injected into Laura.
I didn't know orcs did humans.
Oh God, it hurts! It hurts! A few hours later, Legolas and the others was on the way to Mondor to save Princess Laura. Meanwhile, she says meanwhile a fucking lot. Good God, it's really... Ugh! Meanwhile, in the cell where Laura had been kept, Laura woke up and she looked on her body. There was blood and scars, and she could only move her right arm, but not her left. Then Laura said, "I feel so cold!" And then she can't see very well. At the frowned gates of Mondor was Legolas and the others, and then they said, "Let Laura go!" And then the Dark Lord said, "No!" And then Legolas said,